Good day, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Push from Scrakenators and this is a veteran guide on player movement. We'll compare different movement techniques, basic sprinting, slide jumping and bunny hopping. Before we begin, I must say that movement in the release version sucks. It feels clunky and unnatural. I encourage AAA developers to attend physics courses to refresh their knowledge of basic concepts, such as inertia, momentum transfer, ground friction, air drag, etc. You know, the knowledge that kids get in school. Unfortunately, we don't have a test map in KS3 nor the SDK to create one. So I was supposed to perform tests in real games. I set a circular road on the radar station that it is easy to reproduce reliably, and it is long enough to neglect the measurement errors. The road has elevation changes from both up and down to simulate real game scenarios. I did 4 laps for each movement technique. We begin with basic sprinting. Simply switch to the knife and hold the sprint and forward keys. I'm unsure why we need the sprint key at all. Do you know any scenarios where you want to walk instead of sprint? I don't know such. Moreover, the sprint key occasionally gets bugged and stops working, and you need to release and press it again. I wish there were an always sprint setting in the game options. All test cases were performed under the same conditions, during the trader time, at 100% health and white armor, and with the same inventory. I'm unsure if the inventory has an impact on the movement, most likely not, but just to be sure, it was always the same. We are reaching the start-end gate, meaning the first lap is about to be finished. To save your time, I will skip the next laps and show you the results. All 4 lap times are within a 2-second margin. The average result is 55 seconds, which will be our baseline for comparison. The next test is slide jumping. This technique requires practice to master. You start with a slide as long as possible, and just before the slide ends, press the jump key. The longer you slide, the faster you move, since sliding is faster. But if you wait for too long, the slide ends and resets the velocity. Compare it to racing, where you need to start braking as close as possible to the braking point to retain high speed on the straight, but not too late as you will miss the turn. Slide jumping was at its peak during the beta, as you can see in Season 1 of my Veteran Plays KS3 videos. I must admit that, when mastered, it was slightly overpowered, allowing the player to escape danger with relatively low effort. I suggested reducing the slide speed and boosting the straight line speed of Enraged Zeds to counter new player abilities. Unfortunately, my feedback was thrown into a trash can, but Reaper nerfed slide jumping in the most ridiculous way. They blocked the momentum transfer from slide to jump. Imagine if you hit an invisible wall and then jump over it. That's how it feels right now. Once again, someone needs to learn physics. Surprisingly, I scored the same time in all 4 laps. Maybe slide jumping for 100 hours during the beta has built the muscle memory. The time of all 4 laps is 46 seconds, or 16% faster than regular sprinting. At the end of the day, slide jumping is still slightly quicker, but feels wrong. Now let's move on to bunny hopping. It is easier to perform compared to slide jumping. Simply press the jump key to make a subsequent jump a moment before landing. Oh, sorry, it was the case in the beta, but Reaper messed up even that by adding half a second cooldown between subsequent jumps. You can still continuously jump in, but it feels as you had missed the timing of every jump. It lowers the skill ceiling, or in other words, dumps down the game. Bunny hopping existed in previous titles, even in Killing Floor 1. In KF1, bunny hopping added only 1% extra horizontal speed, making it nearly redundant for speed advantage. However, it allows dodging multiple husk projectiles in a row. You know, you could dodge by jumping. There was no need for extra dash key. Unfortunately, the developers screwed up even at such a basic concept. The results of handicapped bunny hopping laps are on your screen. Bunny hopping as its current state does not give the speed advantage. Moreover, it feels retarded. We may conclude the video with the results that slide jumping still is the fastest movement mechanic giving the 16% speed advantage while feeling clunky. Speaking about clunkiness, let's review another movement technique, which I call Noop Sliding. Noop Sliding is jump sliding without jumping. Noobs simply sprint and occasionally press the slide key. Since they do not transfer the slide into a jump, they lose the momentum. 2 or 3 pop players do that and damn it look awful. I would prefer the removal of sliding rather than watching that crap. Meanwhile, please click the like and subscribe buttons to support me in performing dull tasks for sake of science. Surprisingly, Noop Sliding is not as bad as it looks, literally. I made the lap in 50 seconds and repeated it one more to verify the result. Noop Sliding is 8% faster than regular sprinting, exactly in the middle between slide jumping. Nonetheless, please don't do that, as it makes your dick smaller. And the last one, for the sake of science, I ran a lap while holding a gun instead of the knife. But I'll share the result only with my Patreon members. Just kidding guys, here's the result. 1 minute at 5 seconds, or 18% slower than sprinting with the knife. Since always switch to the knife when running, but all KF1 players already know that. Thanks for watching and see you next time.
Get out of here, Stalker.